Okay, everybody. Well, all I got to say is I found out what the spark problem is. Yeah. I guess I'm almost as bad as Jason is. That thing's cattywampus. There we go. Anyhow, yeah. Well, I didn't forget to put the rotor cap in, but I forgot to check the plug wires. Duh. First thing to check. I went for the hardest, then went to the easiest, I guess. Now I crank it, and it does got fire, so we're going to put this plug in there and see what we can get. Probably be way out of timing now, since somehow I pulled the distributor a few times. Yeah. Come on, find the hole. Get that plug in there. And we'll prime it like crazy. And see if we can't get a cold start out of this video. One that I promised you guys a long time ago. I promised you to have it friggin' Saturday, actually. Yeah. If it does start, I can't run it very long because all the wires are touching everything. I don't want no fires. Always remember, safety first, even rednecks. Oh yeah. Out here. Yes, we'll give it a try. See what happens. I like that a little bit. Yeah, like pop like that. It's almost oh yeah. Give it one more shot. See what happens. Uh-oh. There we go. Yeah, I think so, yeah. Well, if it's plus I gotta get the torsion ahead. It's not holding up to screen. Yeah, okay, big. I'm sure we can try that and get this. Plug in. Alright, now let's do everything. And if I can't see on the can, but I can see darkness. So that means, oh yeah, like the whole time, that's the good one. Awesome, oh yeah. Check back on, you're right. Is that short done? Oh, guess I'll let these go far now. Oh well. There you go. No, what? Should be pretty close. I'm going to for a minute. So you're going to hot water. Ignition. Key on. Screw it in. Water go in. Stop. Okay, stop. Absolutely right. That's it. Wrong with it. Here's another one. Alright, let's just tap it. And this. Stay close. Oh, you guys, listen. Here's some engine out there. You better, trucker. You keep up with me. Man, I hear crackling noise from flying the motor. I expect it to work. I don't figure out where the noise comes from, boy. Oh, here's more. What the hell it is? That's more. Damn, that does work. Check this out. Full bore. Okay. Okay, well, that's very well. The Jerry system. That'll burn out. That's fire. Put the George up. The what? The hell do you make noise? No, the rod sounds like I'm not in. Huh. Give it a few minutes there, boys. Look for George. I'm glad I can't figure out if I can full throttle. Actually, full throttle. You know, that's great. I'm going to give it a fire. Give it another shot. Put it on the muscle. It's around 69. Check it out. Actually, go there. Yeah. You can see it. Okay. Why is it on full throttle? Well, I think I have like, I guess that's looking good. Maybe I should get down. I see. That's cruiser over here. Somebody did. Of course, you're right on fast. I need people. Oh, that way I did. You can see that. That way I did. Fine. Yeah, well, I guess I'm sitting there. You got to. We're going to start your light. I'm starting. Damn. Hold on. My starter switch is running each other out. Yeah. See one more shot. I guess thanks. Hold it down. Good shot. Hammer like crazy. Okay, you tubers, as you guys know, my videos I show as it happens. Garages, things don't go together perfect like they do on the TV shows. Trucks and all that, you know, you have issues sometimes. What we're looking at is we're looking at the bottom of the carburetor. And if you can see the intake, how it got this little notch and open here. Well, he brought me the carburetor and this gasket. And if you can see, when you bolt that gasket on, that hole lines up into that notch. Okay. You take this, it'd be like this, right? Like that. But as you can see, it's clearly going to suck air underneath the bottom of the carburetor. Thus doing that will make it run pretty much full throttle. Anyhow, in the last video I had it running off a carb cleaner. Well, the gas finally did prime up to the fuel pump, and oh yeah, it took off on me. But luckily I had the hot wire right here hooked to the hot, and I yanked it right away. It didn't run maybe 10 seconds, went going fast. Anyhow, I found out what the thumping was, because when I pulled it, all of a sudden the motor jerked and yanked, and I honestly thought a rod went through the bottom of the pan. And I never messed with it since. And Travis from Blue Collar, he was up here, and I asked him to listen for that noise. So I cranked it without the hot on. The noise wasn't there, the thumping sound. And then old Travis, he rolls up underneath. He says he thinks it's underneath. Well, sure enough, it was underneath. See, I'll show you guys a little something here. The previous guy that tried to work on this truck, right here, this is the PTO. This is what runs the pump to dump the bed. The previous guy busted the cable. Well, the owner asked me to fix it. Well, in doing so, the guy ruined this. So I got a new one of these, and I fixed it so it would go in and out of PTO. Well, in doing that, I realized that see, on this truck you got to engage the PTO, then you got to engage the pump. Well, I come up here and I had the PTO working, had it engaged, and this pump one was stuck solid. And later that night, the GM guy stopped by and I told him, he goes, "Oh no, it's not." He got in here pulling and pushing on the levers and he got it freed up. Well, I guess dummy me or something, I just never even thought to look to make sure that he had it, that it was disengaged, whether it was him or I. And yeah, and when I fired the truck up, he wasn't here, and it went full throttle, and it made the big thump and the big bang. Well, this here is the results of that sound. What we have here is a PTO shaft. Oh yeah, can you see that? Oh yeah. She bent her and she twisted her and she popped her right off of there. Oh yeah, ruined the shaft. Yeah, because the PTO was left engaged when I started the motor. Because I was on the outside of the motor, not inside the truck. And evidently the PTO was engaged the whole time when I was cranking it over and cold starting it with the carburetor cleaner, and I never realized it. Never realized it until it made that big thump, and Travis was over here and he looked up underneath there and he said, "You got some problems now." Well, as you can see, that's the results of the PTO shaft. And what it did was twist it off. It didn't pull it out of there. I actually had to use a come along and force it out of there. But, oh heck, my trusty old light. Okay, hold on a minute. Right there is the pump. And of course when that popped off, it popped off the pump. And it ruined the PTO cable to the pump. And it busted the bracket that shifts the lever in and out. And, oh yeah. Oh, you can't really see. Let me move that light right quick. This plate, I believe, is supposed to be flat up and down, and it bent it all the way down. And yeah, then I thought, well, what would cause that to do that? You know, I know you're not supposed to rev a PTO up over past 1500 RPMs, but I'm telling you, it didn't run very long, fast. And then I thought, well, maybe that pump was locked up. Well, the pump doesn't seem to be locked up. So, honest to God, I don't know what caused that. Unless maybe it was locked up and when I started it, and it did the damage to that PTO shaft, which is like pretzel. Maybe it busted the pump loose. I don't know. Well, all I know, now the poor white trash man in the redneck shop Oh yeah, twisted like a pretzel. You guys can see that. It's not supposed to be bent. No, no. It's supposed to be straight. Yeah. So now to pull the white trash man. Got to fix that crap. Oh yeah. Right now, I did get the correct gasket for the carburetor. And I'm getting ready to put it on and fire this motor up and see what happens. Okay, full start again. Ready. It started and it kind of ran. It didn't make a lot of noise. Bad gas. Gas won't let us stay running. We got. Good, go! Run it on slow. Can't leave it running too long. Look at that. Motor's already steaming heat out of the want. Huh. Well, I wonder how easy Yeah, see, it's steaming out the block already. Oh, and the exhaust manifolds are pretty warm. Yeah. I don't know if you guys can see the steam coming out of the block. Oh yeah, look at there. Oh yeah. The air hoses can't finish it. Wonder how easy it'll start up again. Let's see how close I got everything fine-tuned. Hook the old coil back up. Yeah, see, this is how I do it usually. When I'm cranking with the remote starter, that way in case I do have a run out like I did earlier on this truck, I can just yank it off and it'll kill the motor instantly. Well, let's see what happens. That's pretty good. Well, I'd say that's pretty dang good. Close to being good. Yeah. Look at her steaming there. Doesn't take long. Might have the timing a little bit advanced too. That'll make it run a little hotter too if you got it too far advanced. But generally what I do is get them so they'll run. And once I get them so they'll idle on their own, then I hook the timing light to it and time it. But it really could still use plugs, because plug wires, because these are just old used ones that I had laying around in the shop. Oh yeah, that's pretty hot. Huh. Anyway, there you guys go. I wonder if it'll dry. Yeah, I better wait till I get some antifreeze in it, because I still got to check out the clutch. We know the PTO used to work. Oh well. Live and learn, I guess. Live and learn. You guys say you like watching my videos because I show it how it goes. Well, that's a screw up. Yeah. Now I just got to wire the alternator, rewire the ignition switch and put the correct ignition in it, tie all the running part up so it's finished, and then I'll start working on the stuff that I broke. Yeah. Yeah. I was hoping it was some of that hexagon, oxygon, or whatever it is shaft, because I have a whole bunch of that from when I used to have my tow trucks, the PTO driven ones, but of course not. I still, personally, I think the pump was locked up, and because I honestly, I don't see how that thing could twist like that unless the pump was locked up and the PTO was on. If it was locked up, it's not anymore because it freewheels by hand.